We're live. I don't know if it's worked or not. Yes, yes, we are live. Wait, are we? It says starting stream health, but it says the stream is offline. But I think we're live. So, hello everyone. Welcome to episode 5 of Galacticast. This week we are doing drugs. We have a stand-in because Brendan couldn't make it. Joe, say hi.
Hello, everybody.
Yep, he sounds like a retarded transformer, but that's okay.
Cancer
We
patient.
love him anyway.
Right.
Oh yeah, the lung cancer thing where they have like the what's it called?
I'm not.
Like,
I don't think we're live.
the vocoder thing where they hold it to the throat. No, we definitely are. YouTube says we are. I'm
Really?
watching the stream on
I'm not.
YouTube now.
Strange. It's not showing up for me.
I suggest you refresh the
I've
page.
got it
I
live
have
now.
been.
Did you Google? Did you search Galacticast to find it?
Yeah, of course I did.
I'm on my feed and oh wait, there it is.
Okay, cool. So we know we're live.
Oh, it's not
So-
in my feed. That's weird.
We're going to do drugs, and we're going to talk about the crazy experiences that we have or haven't had. When we did relationships, I went last because I had the most to say about it. Because I had quite the story, as Joe knows. This week, Kalen is going last because he has done the most drugs. Because he is the biggest drug addict.
Not a drug addict.
See, that's what all drug addicts say. I'm not addicted to drugs. I just like them. They just make my day better.
I
This
mean-
week, I'm gonna go first because I think I'm probably the most boring person on the topic of drugs. I don't know about you, Joe, so it'll be interesting when we get to you. We'll try and keep this one fairly short, though. We're gonna try to keep it about half an hour. So, let's get right into the drugs. The only drugs I've ever done has been paracetamol, codeine. No,
What the fuck?
no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I've smoked weed and that's it really, and I didn't get any effect from it like whatsoever. I've done it a few times and it's just not affected me. The only effect I've ever had actually was I smoked it with my friend, and then as I was walking home, I forgot where I was for a split second. So I was like, for some reason, I was transported back 3 years to an expedition that I'd done around the Yorkshire Dales, which is like a big countryside area in England. And I was like, we need to go left here, but where's my map gone? Because we had to carry around these maps with us. And then I remembered that no, that was a few years ago, and here I am now. So it wasn't really a negative or positive experience, it just kind of was. And yeah, that's my boring drug experience.
You have quite the lifestyle.
I'm an absolute madman. Joe, let's hear yours.
Um, I just want to start by saying that I do make a pretty mean purple codeine and dirty Sprite.
I have no idea what that is. Do you want to tell us?
So basically, dirty Sprite, it's just Sprite mixed with purple codeine, which is it's a sleep pill, a really strong sleep pill. That gives you a pretty hefty relaxation effect.
Ah, that sounds nice.
I've brewed that a few times. But I remember the first time I smoked weed, I started off with a legal high called excess. And I thought, oh, legal high, it's not going to be bad. Nothing like that. After one hit, oh my god, I thought I was going to die. I remember I just laid on the grass. And the clouds looked like they were going to eat me.
That's hilarious.
I just wanted to cry, but I couldn't cry because my eyelids were still closed.
I remember there was a guy at my college. When I was at college, there was a guy there who got given a legal high by someone, and they were just like, "Yeah, just try it. It's legalized." And we bumped into him, and he tried it 2 days ago, and he was kind of staggering around because it affected him that badly. It was 2 days
Wow.
afterwards, and he was like, "I just need to go home and have a joint, really." And I was like, "Okay, so your response to drugs is more drugs." I like
Hey,
your
you
thinking.
could get over if you never stop drinking. It's the same concept.
You should just get dead. To be fair, this particular guy, it wouldn't surprise me if he turned up dead of an overdose on something. And now we get on to Kalen, who does coke, heroin.
Never done those first two, but
Acid. Battery acid.
okay. While we're on the topic
Puts
of
battery acid on his cornflakes.
Oh, I've licked a few batteries in my time.
They taste the same as keys, don't they? Really?
Yeah, peeling them apart, fizzing them on your tongue.
I've never peeled them apart. I meant like when you get one of those that has both connectors at one end, then you just lick it and it's like bzzz on your tongue. But it's like a metallic kind of taste, the same as you get if you lick a key. Not that I lick keys very often. I sound like a weirdo now.
Black powder. If you put that black powder, it really fizzes on your tongue.
Yeah, I'd rather not try that.
Sort of like suicide sherbet.
like black powder from what?
Batteries.
Who the fuck does that? Apparently Joe here.
I doubt anybody else. He did just call it suicide sherbet.
I'll demonstrate for you next time.
Alright, cool. Come on everyone, we're gonna go and watch Joel lick a battery under the bridge. Kaelin, let's hear the tales of dropping acid and
Well,
fucking bitches. I don't know.
I'm gonna start with weed first, since we're already on that topic.
Yeah, boy.
Okay, so I've been smoking weed. It was the first real drug I've done since 3 years ago, and up until just recently when I quit, I've been a pretty regular smoker. But I've also smoked dabs, and
That's the resin, isn't it?
resin is what's left over from weed. Dabs is like a very compressed version of weed.
Oh, I thought it was like a waxy resin type of thing that you.
It's a wax, but
Alright, okay.
it's like way more potent. So
And how did that affect your lungs?
not bad at all. You don't get
Really?
lung cancer.
Wait, it didn't affect. You weren't like coughing or anything.
Oh no, actually my friends are all like amazed by me because I apparently have the ability to not cough when I smoke.
Unlike Lewis over here, who's choking to death from one puff.
Like, I don't enjoy coughing, so I've trained myself to be able to not do that.
Kaelin fucking fills the bong with beer, lights it, has a rip, drinks it.
So
Hardcore.
probably the coolest thing I've ever done with smoking is I got to try a gas mask bong once.
Holy shit! Did that not burn your eyes?
It does, but the one that I was using only like went over your mouth.
Oh, okay. So you weren't just there like crying into it, like my tears have weed in them.
Yeah. And before I get to acid, I've also done whippets,
What's that?
which are it's like little those little canisters that you use for like those wooden little cars that you can make?
No. Oh. Yes, maybe.
They're sort of like helium
Matchbox cars.
canisters, aren't they? Tiny little helium canisters.
Something like that. Basically, you can put one of those into like it's called a chicken, but you use it to make whipped cream.
You put it into a chicken. This sounds like it's gory shit. Come here, chicken. The egg's going back.
So yeah, you put the canister and it like empties into this thing called a chicken, and then you put a balloon on the nozzle and you just like fill it up with the the air that's in the chicken, and then and then you just inhale what's in the balloon, and oh my god, the high only lasts like literally a minute or two, but it is so worth it. It is so much fun. Like, I can't even explain it other than like everything just starts to like wub.
Whoop. Your whole world turns into dubstep.
Like, my friend he tried to explain it to me before I did it, and I was like, I don't know what that means. And then I tried it, and I'm like, yeah, there's really no other way to explain it.
Your whole world wubs.
Um,
This sounds
my
like
friend
it could be
though.
worth trying, Joe.
Yeah,
Well,
let's do it.
you say that, but I didn't have this problem. But my friend, he was in the room with me when we were doing it, and I watched him do it, and he literally seized out.
In what way?
Like he bent forward. He started drooling all over the place, and then he just fell backwards and started like vigorously shaking. And then a minute or two later, when it wore off, he didn't remember any of it.
Oh. Okay,
So
Joe,
yeah,
you
that
go
was
first. We'll do it the same way
interesting.
we do our training. You can go first.
All right, so now acid. Ugh.
Now we get to the good stuff.
All right, so 3 years ago, after I first started smoking weed, and I started hanging out with like a whole group of friends I met through my brother, um, they gave me and my friend, the same friend that seized up, a tab of acid, and we just spent the night there doing that. And I didn't really feel anything from it. Like we spent the whole night there, and I was just kind of like chilled out, but I didn't really feel anything. My friend that gave it to us, his girlfriend at the time, I don't know why we let her. I don't think it was because of the acid, but me and my friend let her just like put makeup all over our faces.
Did that make you feel good?
No, she spent like an hour scrubbing it vigorously off of our faces for like an hour. So
So the first time
that
you
was
did
not
acid,
fun.
you didn't trip at all.
Wait, what?
The first time you did acid, you didn't really trip.
No,
That's what you're saying.
I didn't.
Okay.
And then, except on the way home, my brother and my friend and I, we all walked back to my place, and
And
that's
then you
really the
thought,
only time.
fuck walking, transformed into dragons and flew back.
No, that was really the only time I felt anything, and it wasn't really anything. Like it was just it made the colors of the sky more like vivid, I guess.
Maybe you had weak acid. Maybe it was like a pH 8 or something. Oh, wait, that's alkaline, isn't it? Maybe you had like a pH 5.
Yeah, I don't know. It must have been some weak ass shit though.
Imagine if the drug was graded in that way. A pH scale. You can have some acid, you can have some water, or you can have some alkali. What do you want today? So is that like the most you've ever had from it?
No,
All right,
definitely
here we go.
not.
Here we go into a bigger story then.
Well, we're gonna get there. I'm pretty sure there was another time I did acid when I didn't feel anything, so I was kind of starting to lose hope. But then, around
No.
around my birthday last year, um, actually before my birthday, my friend, same friend that seized up, he was like, okay, so for your birthday present, I'll forward you some acid. So he gave me 2 tabs, and one of them had only 1 drop of acid on it, and then apparently the other one, I didn't know this at the time, had 3. So I was taking 4 hits of acid.
Amazing. How did that go?
Well, we were in my friend's room at the time, not the friend that gave me acid the first time. We were in his room, and we were all just chilling, having a good time, and that's when it was like great. I felt super happy, and it was just fantastic. But then my friend said that he wanted to go to bed, and then the friend that seized up that one night, he and I were stuck there, and he couldn't drive because he was fucked up from acid, obviously. So we
Crashes into a
went
tree,
out.
avoiding the big fucking murderer in the middle of the road.
Oh no, dude, it gets so much worse.
Ooh.
We went out into the living room, and we were planning to stay the night out there. However, that's not really how it went, because when we got out there, it was hot as shit, and we were like sweating balls. And we tried to go outside to make it better. It was the exact same temperature outside as it was in there. So we both felt like we were just like trapped. And that's not really where it went bad. Where it went bad is right after that, we decided to walk down the street to the gas station. and remind you that it's night at the time. And my friend he was doing okay. When we started walking though, outside in the dark, things went horribly wrong for me. Um, I started seeing these shadowy figures hiding behind trees and following us. And then I
It was
couldn't
me.
stop. Wait, what?
It was me.
Oh. um, and not only that, but I couldn't stop thinking about death. Like, I kept on thinking about like dying and shit like that, and it was just terrible. And I kept on like walking in the middle of the road.
Let's get away from the shadows.
Yeah, my friend was trying to control me, but wasn't working out too well. So we got to the on the way to the gas station. Like, it's not very far; it's only like a few streets away. But I completely lost where I was. Like, I had no idea where we were or where we were going, really.
You start to skits
So
out.
I was relying on my friend, and thankfully he knew where we were going, sort of. He said that he didn't really know either, but we ended up making it there anyway. However, the gas station was closed. So then we had to walk back, and then that feeling of like death and being scared got like 3 times worse. So then
You were
we got
running
back to
crying.
No, dude, I was just scared shitless. And then we got back to his house, and it was still hot as shit. So we were like, "Oh my god, what do we do? We can't sleep like this." So we decided to suck it up, and my friend drove us back to his house.
While stripping.
Yeah, it probably wasn't a good idea, but in the long run, it was a good idea because we couldn't sleep there, and we would just like die of heat. So we made it safely back to his house, thankfully. And this is when the night just kind of went to shit for me. Well,
Wait,
not
so it hadn't already gone to shit for you?
well, no, it already did, but like it got worse. We got back to his house, and he puts on Grateful Dead on his TV.
What's that?
It's like a band that makes music for people that do drugs.
Okay.
Yeah. So he puts that on, and he gets in his bed, and he just crashes immediately. Me, however, I couldn't sleep at all. And
So
I
you
did
just... Go on.
that feeling of death kind of started to go away for the most part, but I was left just laying there on the couch trying to sleep all night.
Wait, so you didn't sleep at all?
No, I was literally up until 7 in the morning on my
Wow.
own with nothing to do.
I mean, you were tripping, so you must have been somewhat entertained.
It was actually really boring.
Huh. So,
So yeah,
how long does it
um,
last?
all night.
All night long. All night.
And then I got home later, and I tried to go to bed once I got home, and I still couldn't really sleep, so I ended up staying up with my mom for a little bit. And then I went to bed, and my grandpa called me, and at the time he was like teaching me how to make websites, and I was supposed to be there that day so he could teach me because it was the weekend, and I only had the weekends to myself. But
And you were
it
too
was
busy dropping
Monday.
acid.
It was Monday now, and he wanted me to get over there, and I straight up told him like I need sleep, I can't do anything. And my grandpa has a history of like emotionally abusing people, especially me.
So he blackmailed you.
No, he just like he freaked out at me, and he was like, "All right, well, if that's how you want to do this, then I'm not going to teach you anything anymore." And I was just like, I was kind of sad by that because making websites is kind of fun, but at the same time, I really just needed sleep. So yeah, I slept for like 3 hours, and that was it.
I can't imagine, like, if my granddad called me up and wanted to see me and I was just like, I'm sorry, I really can't. I can't imagine that he'd ever freak out at me. That's weird.
Yeah, my grandpa has a history of
Being a dick.
like screaming at people.
Well, there was one of my uncles from a different granddad, not the one that I just meant that I was just on about, but one that I
Mhm.
don't really know. He threw he threw a plate at my uncle's head and hit him when he was a kid. He's like 12, and my granddad gets pissed off and just chucks a plate, smacks him right in the forehead. Apparently, he apologised a lot for that, which you would, because you don't want him to call social services.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my drug experience.
Something that you said, the thing about being scared, actually reminded me of something that happened to me a couple of years ago. I wasn't taking any drugs or anything like that. I was just sat on the settee, and there were like family around and whatever. And I just
Mhm.
had like this sudden feeling of abject terror, and I couldn't move and I couldn't do anything, and I kind of sat there, and it went away for a few seconds, but it left me with like a massive adrenaline rush,
Huh.
and it was like the most scared I've ever been in my life. If I could have moved, I would have probably thrown myself into the wall and cried. I genuinely felt like screaming. It was so weird. Thankfully, it's never happened again.
Oh, well, since we have a ton of time, I might as well share some high stories.
Hell yeah. I mean, that's what we're here for.
Um, in my beginning stoner days, I had a super low tolerance, and I was basically like retarded when I smoked.
Did you ever whitey?
Did I what?
Did you ever whitey?
What does that mean?
Joe, I'll let you explain this. You probably understand it better than I do.
It's sort of like when the high hits you too hard, and it's like where all the blood drains from the surface of your body, so like your face and your skin goes completely white, hence the name Whitey.
I
And
wouldn't. I wouldn't say that. I just acted like a freaking retard.
Okay, so what would you call it in America when that happens to you? Because it seems like it's not an American thing.
I don't know. I've never heard of anyone doing that.
Well, see, this sort of plays into my theory that in England you just like you don't get good weed. Even though I've never really done it myself enough to know. I think that you just don't.
So, a couple of examples of how retarded I was. Um, one of them is my friend would be trying to get me to play Towerfall with him.
What's that?
It's a 2D platformer,
Okay.
and I would literally just sit there and hold the controller and not move at all. Like, I would just watch the game. And I remember the first time I played that game, I was high, and I started seeing the characters, and they are like 8-bit like sprites. I started seeing them as like anime characters, and everything was like so intense, and they had like bows, and they were like jumping in the air and like shooting shit. It was fucking awesome.
Wait, was this like in real life? It seemed to be.
Yeah, that's how I perceived it.
That sounds amazing.
And then
Tell us more.
other times my friend would be doing stuff, and I would just be sitting on his couch, like getting or just like being insanely high, and I would see his brother's son's like toys laying around. He was like a toddler at the time, and his toys, like some of them had faces, and they would like literally be talking to me. Like there was this one that had like a super deep voice, and he was like more chill, and there's this other one that had a high voice and was like an asshole to me.
It sounds like you, and then I don't know, someone with a high voice. I don't know. So is that like everything that's happened to you then? Would you say, or everything that's worth noting?
Not everything, but yeah, that's pretty much what's worth noting.
Joe, do you have any high stories?
Um, not high stories, but I remember one of the time I was smoking weed. Um, I knew I was going to get picked up, so I didn't want to smoke anything. However, when I came to get picked up, um, the guy who I was with, I left my stuff at his house, and so he jumped in the car to take us back up. And he'd been smoking a hell of a lot. Like I think he'd had like nearly a quarter ounce to himself. And as soon as we stepped in the car, my dad was on it. He was fuming, and he was like, "Oh my God, why don't I take you to the police right now? Oh, give me one good reason why I shouldn't."
Because they won't do anything.
Well, yeah, obviously I didn't dare say that, but um, that ended up I'm now no longer allowed to a little place called Clayton because of it.
I have a friend who lives in Clayton. It's a nice place.
No, it's not. It's like slums.
Depends where
Everyone
you
lives
go.
in wooden houses with raw sewage underneath them.
Oh bloody hell. Okay. Well, I guess it depends where you go. Because where I've been, it is very nice. Although with neighbours like that, probably, probably why. That's probably why he's. I forgot what I was saying. I'm not sure if I'm high.
You must be high.
Yeah, I had a good thought that made sense, and then it just went. So sorry about that. I have no idea.
So I just remembered probably the most important high story I could possibly have.
Go on.
Okay, so this is like Christmas of 2015, and my friend came over, and my brother and I and him were all in the basement, and we were smoking. And I thought to say something about it, like maybe we should go outside and do this, but my brother's usually on that shit, but he wasn't, so I didn't say anything, and we just kind of let it happen. So then, after that, my friend and I left, and my brother was stuck there, and my mom apparently bitched at him because she already knew that he smoked. She didn't know what I smoked, and she smelled it and bitched at him and told him that he was going to get kicked out.
Jesus.
So then I think the next day, me and my brother went to his girlfriend's house. We were just chilling there, and I had this huge plan to save my brother, and I called it Operation Human Shield.
Go on. This sounds good.
Um, so when we were there, I obviously didn't want to be at my house when I did this, but I texted my mom, and I was like, "You can't kick out my brother because he's not the one that did it." And she's like, "Well, then who did?" And I'm just like, "Duh." But
You said duh to your mum.
no, I wanted to, but I was like, "Yeah, it was me." And she's like, "Do you want to get kicked out?" And I'm like, "No,"
Yes,
but
please. Sign me up.
so I was like, "No, but you can't kick out my brother." So
If
she
someone's
learned I
gonna get
smoked
kicked
from that,
out.
but apparently he got kicked out anyway, so that was cool.
So Operation Human Shield was a massive failure.
Pretty much. But only in the fact that it didn't save him. It was a success in the fact that she learned that I smoked, because shortly after that, my friend and I were down the street at this park, and we were parked, and we were smoking a bowl in this car. And halfway through smoking, a car pulls up behind us, and it just sits there, and we were like not worried about it at all. So we finished smoking, and then we looped around to get out of there. Halfway through our loop, cop car lights come on, and we got pulled over. He walks over, and he's like, yeah, we got a complaint that you guys are just sitting here. And then he smells the weed and he's like, all right, let's have you guys step out. Who's got the weed? And thankfully at the time, I didn't have any, like, I didn't have money for weed. I didn't have any paraphernalia or anything. It was all my friends.
So you were just
We
like,
were standing.
you were there with nothing, and then they pulled you over, and they all got caught, and you didn't.
Well, it was just my one friend and I.
Oh, okay.
Um, so he had to step out, and it was freezing. Like I remember that very well because we sat out there for like 30 minutes just standing there. And he searched the car, of course, but he had four pieces that he got from my friend. It was a bowl, a one hitter, box, and a grinder. And they charged him $250.
Can you explain what those first two things are?
Bowl.
That's what you put it in, isn't it? That's like the top bit of a bong.
The bowl is just like a tiny piece that you smoke out of. A one hitter is just like, it looks like a cigarette and it's good for like one hit basically, or a couple.
Okay.
And grinder grinds weed. Hitter box is just like a little box that you can like shove the hitter into and it packs itself basically.
Okay.
So he got charged $250 for each of those items.
Wait, so they stole his stuff and gave him a bill for it?
Yeah.
Does that sound wrong to you?
Those are my weed.
And then on top of that, they made me call my mom down there.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, so I called her and I was like, hey, can you come down to the park for a minute? And she's like, why? And I'm like, I didn't know how else to say this. So I was just like, exactly like this. I said, cops.
How can I make this sound as ominous as possible? I know. Cops.
So she's like, sigh, okay, I'm coming. A minute later, she gets there and cops like escort her to me and they like tell her the deal and they're like joking about the shit and I'm standing there scared shitless.
Yeah, because they'll probably pick up people all the time that have been smoking pot, and then they'll just be like, "Ah, we got another one, boys," and then just laugh about it. And then,
Yeah.
how much can we scare this one? Let's see if we can make him shit himself.
Oh, actually, before they called my mom down there and we were standing outside in the cold, I told them that I live on that street and okay, we lived on Highland Street.
Yeah, I know where that is.
No, just the name.
Okay. Oh, I
And
see.
the cop was like, oh, that's quite comical. And I didn't think it was because of the name. I thought it was because the fact that literally like 5 houses down the road, there's the sheriff that lives right there.
Yeah.
So there's that. But my mom picked me up and gave me a real talking to on the like 1 minute drive home.
Oh boy, that
And-
must have been quite the experience. A 1 minute talking to. Oh shit.
Well, I was also high at the time, so with her like ranting at me about how stupid it is that I'm smoking and getting caught and stuff like that, like I just sat there and I didn't say a word. I was just kind of like nodding and agreeing.
It's like, yep.
And then we got to my house and my mom's like, don't expect to leave the house for a while. So my grounding lasted an entire month, which was all of Christmas break, so that was nice.
So, you got grounded for an entire month. How old were you when you got grounded?
17. Thanks.
17 years old and grounded by mummy, that's hilarious. Sorry. I mean, it's kind of a sorry, not sorry. I don't think I've been grounded since I was like 13 or 14. It's like, you're not going to be allowed to leave the house and I'll be like, Alright, well all I do is sit in my room and play video games anyway, so... I
Yeah,
think
that
I
was
can live.
that was when I beat Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. I played that for 4 days straight.
How did you not die?
Um, Video game gives me strength.
You just absorbed from it.
Yeah.
That's mad. Honestly, like, I think if my mum had found out, she'd have just been like, yeah, whatever. Like, obviously, be safe and that kind of thing. But
Yeah, it's a much bigger deal to my mom.
I think she'd kill you, Lewis.
nah,
I think she would murk you.
nah, my mum's down with the jazz cabbage.
The devil's lettuce.
To be fair, when I told my dad that weed doesn't really affect me, his response was, "I'm not surprised with how much your mum smoked when she was pregnant with you."
What the fuck?
Which, if any woman I was with was smoking whilst pregnant, I wouldn't be with her for much longer. I'd be
Yeah.
slipping a coat hanger up there while she slept. No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go that far. But I definitely wouldn't want to be having a child with them. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
I wouldn't be slipping on any coat hangers. I imagine, like, if anyone sees this in future, they're gonna like be able to use this against me very well. He said he'd rape someone with a coat hanger.
We know all about the ramifications of joking on social media.
Oh boy, do we. The PewDiePie debacle, Jesus Christ, that's been big this week. Do you guys want to just segue into that?
Sure.
Alright, so
I mean, I could definitely talk more about drugs, but if you want to.
do you have any more good stories?
Um, a little bit before New Year's, I smoked, like, I literally took one hit, and then my friend and I stepped outside for a cigarette, and
How about that? Sorry.
everywhere was wet because it rained, so there was nowhere to sit. And as I was smoking, like, I just really felt like I needed to sit down, but I couldn't, so I continued standing.
Why you sit on the floor?
It was wet.
I would have done it anyway, probably.
So I continued standing, and I just kept on feeling worse and worse. And then apparently, I stumbled forward into his girlfriend, pretty much knocked her over.
That sounds like rape.
I pretty much knocked her over, and then I fell to my left off or down like 2 stairs, landed on a fireplace, and almost hit my head on the floor or in the grass, I guess. But my friend like leaped forward and caught me.
How fucking smooth can you get?
And my coat and my pants were completely covered in mud.
Oh,
And then
today.
he helped me up, and I was just standing there for a minute, and he kept on asking me if I was okay, but I couldn't talk. I felt like I was gonna throw up, and then after like 2 minutes of just standing there, like, I gave in and I ran forward to this like plant that he had, and I just threw up into it.
Jesus, what a mess you are.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was not my best day, but after throwing up, I felt better.
That's... If I ever threw up, I'd never do anything like that again, I think. That'd be like... I don't know. I'd feel awful. I'd feel awful for whoever had to clean it up, because it sure as hell wouldn't be me.
Well, it was outside in like this dead ass plant, so they didn't have to do anything.
Just let it rot. What a
So
horrible
yeah,
thought.
I totally fainted right there, and I don't know if it was a combination of me smoking and smoking a cigarette, or if it was like the combination of that and my meds.
Maybe it was... I'd say it was probably your medication.
Yeah, I don't know, because after that, like, it happened again New Year's, but I was sitting in his living room, so I was just kind of like on his couch feeling like shit. But after that, like, I haven't had a problem with it at all, so I don't know.
See, I don't understand on this, because there's people who like say it goes absolutely awfully for them, and then like your story is really weird to me, Because you're just like, yeah, it's never really been an issue for me.
Yeah.
I
I also have some Robitussin stories.
What's that?
Robitussin is a cough medicine.
Oh boy, go on.
Okay, so my friend introduced it to me, and basically just we would buy one thing of Robitussin and then just like drink half, and then the other person drinks the other half. Eventually, we started just drinking our own bottles of it, like chugging it.
Fucking hell. It's a hallucinogen, isn't it?
What?
It's a hallucinogen, isn't it?
It can be.
So go on.
Basically, what I've learned from it is that every trip is different, and up until this one I'm about to tell you about, it had always been like pretty okay. Like it kind of just makes you scatterbrained. So, okay, so this one time we went to the mall, and before we went in, we chugged Robitussin, and then we went in and we were like walking around, and it takes like an hour to kick in, so we were just chilling for an hour, and then it started to kick in and everything felt pretty good. And then we went to the food court, and she had like more Robitussin pills in her purse. She gave me like 10, and she had 10. And this was at the time where my anxiety was really bad and I could not swallow them at all. And every time I tried to, I was going to throw up. So then she went to go use the bathroom, and I sat there in the food court by myself for a few minutes, and I progressively felt worse. Like, not like sick, but just like weird and alone. And as the day continued, I lost memories.
What, you just forgot things?
Yeah, like I completely forgot who I was.
Huh. I mean, that'd be interesting.
Actually, it was really scary, and I hated it. And on the way back home, we stopped for a minute so I could go pee in like basically the side of the road. And I was trying to go somewhere where no one could see me, so I was like climbing into these bushes, and apparently there were thorns there. And as I was getting out, one like pricked my thumb, and I just like watched it bleed and felt the pain. I was like, the pain feels good.
And then you started playing the blood violin.
But yeah, that was kind of disturbing. But then we got back to my house, and we did what we call snailing.
Okay, I'm gonna let you explain what that is. Because that
Um,
sounds like something involving cum.
no. It's a high thing that we do. We get on the ground and move like snails.
Resembles planking, but you raise your butt in the air, tilt your head to the side, and put your hands straight behind. Snaily.
So yeah, we were just in my living room on tile flooring, snailing all over the place while my brother was sitting at his computer trying to play a game. So we snailed over to him, and we were like poking him in the butt. And around that time is when it was starting to wear off for me. So
You started
I
to
was
feel stupid.
that, and I was regaining memories, so it felt better.
You're like, hang on, I'm not a snail.
I'm like, I know my name.
I'm a real boy.
So yeah, that's pretty much all the stories I have.
Your mum just walks in and she's like, Kaelin, and you're like, no, snailin.
Oh my god, you just killed me.
So, a second, oh my god, a second definition for snailing. The action of a woman dragging her vaginal area over a surface, resulting in a residual trail of bodily fluids left behind.
What the shit?
Ashley, the example it gives is, Ashley, our boss is a dick. Lauren, yeah, I'm planning on snailing his desk as soon as the asshole leaves.
All right, so what were we gonna talk about?
um, oh dear. Um, PewDiePie.
Ah,
You sound really disappointed. But to be fair, I think it's something that we should discuss whilst it's still relevant.
the subscriber thing.
Subscriber thing? No, the Wall Street Journal. Did you not hear about this?
I did not.
Really? Joe, you heard about this, right?
I've not heard about this.
Are you kidding? Holy shit. Okay, let's go through the story of PewDiePie and the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, we can't discuss something we know nothing about.
He's gonna tell us about it.
I'm going to give you the story. I'm going to give you the lowdown. Your mic quality's improved a lot, by the way.
Thanks. Good to hear.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like you have asthma and cancer.
Robot cancer. Okay, so the Wall Street Journal published an article by 3 different journalists where they said PewDiePie is an anti-Semite and a fascist, and he's done all of this stuff in his videos. He's published 9 videos since August 2016 that have had anti-Semitic comments. This primarily being the death to Jews thing. Have you heard about that?
No.
So to demonstrate how stupid the modern world is, he went on Fiverr, and he was trying to show that how he was a social comment on how you can pay people $5 and they will just do anything for such a small amount of money.
Mhm.
So he paid some Indian guys to write a sign called "Death to all Jews" written on it. Right, so you got these 2 Indian guys like shoving each other around and laughing on the video, and he's like, "What? Is this what I paid for?" And then one of them like snatches a scroll off the other, unrolls it, and it says "Death to all Jews" on it. And then they both go smacking the knees. And then one of them points up at the sign and goes, "Subscribe to Keemstar." And they took this as like PewDiePie definitely hates Jews rather than him making a social comment. So after that initially happened, he said like there'd been a big kickoff about it, and he said something about the media misrepresenting him, and made a video where he was just like, the media obviously think that I just do this all the time. And then it shows him sat in a soldier's uniform watching Hitler's speech on YouTube. So they cut that out as well, and they stick that in the video that the Wall Street Journal did. And so many other websites with failing viewership all like swarmed to write articles saying he's a fascist, he's a Nazi, he's this and that. And it blew up massively. But the Wall Street Journal contacted Disney and YouTube about what they'd found, what they'd taken out of his videos to show out of context. And there's no way that Disney and YouTube don't know what he's like already.
Mm-hmm.
They know what kind of content he makes. He's an amateur comedian, is how he describes himself. He's never been one to be politically correct. He got in trouble back in 2012 for making rape jokes, which I guess depending on the joke, it's probably still quite funny.
I mean,
if you get
if it's
smashed
just
in a
something
game,
verbal, I don't think it should really matter that much,
Yeah.
especially if it's a joke.
if you're being smashed in a game, you say "I'm being raped," and then like you don't literally mean that you're being raped, and you're not like normalizing rape or something like that people try to say. It's just ridiculous.
The internet, man.
So all these failing media platforms post articles about PewDiePie, and the backlash from YouTubers and his fans is huge. It's amazing. So one of the guys, I think he's called Ben Fritz, who wrote the article. There were 3 of them that wrote it. People went back through his Twitter and found tweets that he's done before that say things such as, what did it say? Something about going to maybe a bar mitzvah or some kind of Jewish celebration, and he says, "No idea that Jews were so good at frying." It's like, it doesn't even make any sense, but it's just like, what does being Jewish have to do with frying? I don't understand. He also said that he doesn't mind something about some comedy show, and he said he doesn't mind the jokes about black people because they're fine. I'm just gonna find the hypocritical tweets if I can. So unfortunately, The Sun, which is not a very reputable newspaper, reported on this, But they've done a decent enough job of it. Oh, right. So he said, just attended my first Chanukah party. Had no idea Jews were so adept at frying. And then he tweeted in 2015, could really do without the racist jokes about Hispanics on mom. Or, well, yeah. In an American accent, it's mom. But in England, it's just mum. And someone said, to be fair, they rotate through the major ethnicities. They also almost never win. And he said, obviously, I'm not counting jokes about black people. Those are just funny. Which is ridiculous. He's like, he had to, he unprivated his account after all the attention online. And then people went to find it. And then someone said to him, you probably wish you'd left your account private given your anti-Semitic jokes and hypocrisy. Absolutely amazing. But, yeah, PewDiePie's lost his deal with YouTube Red. And he's been let go from Maker Studios.
Really?
Yep. Well, the thing is, the Wall Street Journal backed Disney and YouTube into a corner, realistically. Disney came out and said that it was unacceptable when, let's be honest, Walt Disney was the biggest anti-Semite ever. Well, perhaps second to Hitler, just a little bit. And he's obviously Disney isn't marred by that. People don't refuse to go to Disney, at least not that I'm aware of. Who say, oh no, the guy that started it all, he was anti-Jewish. I don't want to go there. Nobody's boycotting Disney. And the same thing with YouTube, really, because they knew what he was like beforehand. I don't know. I think they were kind of just looking for an excuse to let him go.
Yeah.
Because he said something before about his videos not being promoted as much or something like that. But yeah, that's basically the story. Oh, there's a really funny thing as well that a guy who I went to college with said today that he said PewDiePie's an anti-Semite and a fascist. I can't believe you'll be taken in by his lies. I thought you didn't like him anyway, to one of my friends, and my friend was just like, what the fuck are you on about? It's ridiculous. But yeah, I can't believe that you guys hadn't heard about this. It's been really big over the past few days. Well, not so much.
I haven't seen it anywhere.
That's insane. I'll send you a couple of videos later. Alright, so unless either of you have anything to discuss, I think that's a good place to stop it.
Yeah, I guess.
Joe?
Say that again.
Do you have any further input, or is this a good place to stop?
I think it's an okay place to stop, if I'm honest.
Okay, thank you for standing in. We really appreciate it, actually, because
No problem.
we would have been screwed without you.
Yeah.
Next time you need me, I'll get a better mic.
The one that, whatever you're using now, I don't know what you've done to it, but it changed like partway through from Down syndrome transformer to human. Still Down syndrome, but human.
Down syndrome transformer.
Oh, the Downy Decepticon. That's your online alias from now on.
And I'm snailing.
Yes. I forgot about that. Okay, so thanks again, Joe.
No worries.
We should be back to normal next week. We haven't picked a topic yet, but when we do, it will be announced on our Instagram.
Yes, everyone, there is now an Instagram for Galacticast. Go follow it.
I will put a link in the description as we speak, actually.
Sweet.
Shit, there's a Galacticast Twitter. Oh,
No, there
fuck
isn't.
off. They've got a... Yeah, there is. But if
There
they're
is?
not... if they're not like a thing anymore, then I'll see if I can get in touch with them and ask them if we can have the handle. I think the chances are they'll just tell me to fuck off, but it's definitely worth a try.
Yeah.
The Twitter is public, isn't it? The Instagram, it is public, so anyone can see it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put a link in the chat right now for the one viewer that we have.
Sweet.
Um,
Or anyone that watches this in the future.
Yep. Well, it's in the chat, but I'm putting it in the description. Follow Instagram for updates. Alright, so that's in the description now, so you can go and you can refresh the page and then go and follow that.
Mm-hmm.
That's all for episode 5. We will see you next week for episode 6. I nearly went to episode 7 then. The next topic will be announced on there. You can also comment, let us know what you want us to talk about. I think that's everything. So, yeah.
Have a
without
good night,
further
everyone.
ado, goodbye. So long, farewell. Auf Wiedersehen.
Au revoir.
In a
So
bit.
long, and thanks for all the fish.
Fish.
7.
Bye bye.